Friday afternoon. It's warm in here. It's 30 degrees outside. I don't know what temperature it is in this room, but air is becoming an issue, and it's quite handy. Oxygen is a really useful tool. Yeah, Friday it is. Things are going well with the painting, further than I expected. Yeah, about halfway through, I reckon. Looking at the coats, I don't know. I think it may just need a slight skim of a second coat, but we shall see. Yeah, just a slight skim, because you got to be honest, you won't even see the shelving because they'll be full of films. But still, I like to be really precise about these things. So yeah, good progress. The sign has arrived. Take a look. Doesn't it look good? Yeah, really happy with that. Really happy with that. So I need to build a framework for that above this door here on the exterior. Yeah, painting I reckon should be finished by tomorrow evening, if not Sunday. Give it 2 days to dry. Then on Wednesday, I begin to move the overflow in. That's the overflow. So on Wednesday, I'm going to move that into here, which will empty out that bookcase. I can move that bookcase away, and I can begin very slowly over the course of next week just to remove that wall. So hopefully by the following Wednesday, I'm all set to spend the day here and gradually build a corridor, a gateway to this wonderful new horror section. But yeah, really happy so far. Let's see how tomorrow works out. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. That was a challenge. Painting is done. Painting is done. First coat, but to be honest, I think one coat is enough. As you can see yourself, but you can't see because it's too dark. That's why I'm standing here. I think the coverage is good, especially on the shelving. No one will see the shelves. They will be covered with physical media. But I think the first coat actually looks pretty good. It gives the wood a slightly depressed, that's me, distressed look to it. So I'm quite happy about that. But yeah, this was a rough few days. Credit to anyone who paints and decorates for a living, because this has done me in. This has done me in. But still, it's done. So tomorrow is Sunday. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow it's just a case of checking out once it's dry and seeing what needs touching up, what needs a slight bit of second coat. So then I'll just go over the lips of the shells and the framework just to accentuate the blackness. Other than that, though, it's great. And today, I said to you, didn't I? I said a few days ago, it's all right. It's all right. It's going to be a heat wave. It's going to be a heat wave this weekend. Be quiet. Be quiet. I had 3 good weeks. It's going to be quiet. Today has been the highest revenue day for film rental in 15 years. It's been nuts. Honestly, I don't know where people have come from, but it has been crazy. So I'm looking forward to getting home. It's 7:15. I'm going to close up in a few minutes. I've got a table booked in a nice restaurant. I'm going to treat myself, going to go out, I'm going to relax, have a few drinks, have some nice food, stuff myself silly, so to speak, and have a good time, because really thrilled that we've got to this stage. And after the checks in terms of painting, then it's time to move in. We're nearly there. We're getting there. It's close-up business on Sunday. We're at about, what are we on? 7:15 at the moment, Sunday evening. Finish the painting, just did a quick second coat on a few bits today, primarily the framework of the fixtures and the shelf rims that I wanted to be nice and black. Shelves itself, I don't mind too much. Just a good staining is fine. But yeah, really pleased about that. That can dry overnight. Tomorrow, things gradually begin to move in there, starting with the horror overflow. One of the things I'm going to have to do, though, while I'm moving in, and I'm going to take a good 7 days over it, is to check every case. Check You know, the clasp in every case is fully intact. I don't want any discs rattling around. Check that every box is clean, and also I get a lot of spine rot because of the humidity or the lighting or something in here causes quite a few spines just to disintegrate over time. So I'm going to check every box for that. I'm also going to start making blocks. What are blocks, I hear you say? Well, as you can see, face-on titles here are all supported by a block of DVD cases. So, you know, one of the missions for the new horror section is to have as many face-on titles as possible. It's not going to be a vast amount, but considering there's 4 at the moment in the horror section, I'm hoping to at least, you know, improve that by at least 10 times to about 40. By the way, these blocks need to be made 6 DVD cases, very crudely sellotaped together, but they do the job, and they just bring out a title every so many discs, and they really do pop and give it some you know, they stand out, especially with the color in such a dark room. So that's it. On to another week. It's Monday at Snips. I'm just about to start filling this place. Hey, there's Jason already. Just about to start filling this place, but I'm just doing some rudimentary workings out whereby, you know, I can find out how things are going to be structured, because that's the important thing. It's important to me to, when people walk in there, that everything is displayed with real finesse. You know, I don't want everything spine on. I want some face on covers. I want, you know, a good amount of them too. So I've worked out anyway that I have 1,700 cases to make their way into that horror section on those 2 walls, that long wall and also the wall that faces you as you walk in. So 1,700 cases. Now, having worked out the space to fill on each of those shelves, it's just over 3,000 centimeters to fill. Now, what I managed to do is work out how much space those 1,700 will take, how much space I'll have left over, which works out at 377 centimeters. So if I put every film in there, spine on, I would have 377 centimeters of space free. Now, every one of these face-on titles, like Evil Bong, there we go, is 13 centimeters wide. So 377, which is my space that I have over, divided by 13 will give me 29 face-on titles. But then, by having 29 face-on titles, you're taking 29 spines out. So I reckon I should have 32 spine-on titles. So that works out quite well, to be honest. 32 face-on, so 11 shelves high on this long side. So I can do 2 face-on per shelf, which is 22 facings. That gives me 10 left over, and they can all go on that far side. So it will look quite nice, to be honest. But I'm just going to start moving some titles across, only for the overflow for now. But it's a start at least, and start replacing some boxes and start getting these blocks that I mentioned yesterday into place. The job done. All the blocks are in. Went for 33 in the end. I thought that would be the best way to do it. Obviously, I'm exhibiting 0 traits of OCD here, but I think by putting them in, let me just pull this out. By putting them in at those intervals, all like 90 centimeters spread apart, and putting them in a line, I think that accentuates the height of the fixture. So I think that will look more imposing and more of a wow factor when people walk in. And I know what you're saying to me. You're saying, but Dave, you're thinking about height again, aren't you? How about for us slightly diminutive people? I'm like, well, you know, I've got that covered. There we go. There is the Snips stool. So, you know, this will be in here all the time. You can stick it wherever you want. And then you can go all the way up to the very top shelf with ease. So yeah, blocks done. Let's get some films in here. Progress. That's the overflow in place. So all the titles that were there have gone, and all the overflow titles are now in the main horror section. So I've just got British to add to it, and the general horror as well. What's in the overflow, I hear you ask? Well, a mixed bag. It is the fat of the horror section. It is the fat of the horror section, you know, straight to video stuff like Gags the Clown, old 90s movies like Do You Want to Know a Secret? I think Roger Corman made that. But there is some gold in there from here. Well, yeah, I mean, like Neil Jordan's In Dreams is in here. You know, Ghost Story, for example, with Marianne Faithfull is in here. So yeah, there's a Fido, which I love. Great film with Billy Connolly. And Hellraiser, which caused Dave Wain from the Schlock Pit to say that British horror is alive and well. I don't know about that. They paid me well. So yeah, Overflow is in, and it's kind of starting to take shape. But the next 2 days will be a good indicator of how well everything will fit. So Monday is drawing to a close. I started up with the A's and the B's in here, but I'll tell you why later. I love these little index cards that just show you the order of affairs. So far, so good. Top 2 shelves nearly complete. Yeah, really happy with it. So I put the Brits in, I put the Overflow in. I started to put the generic horror in. Mainly because tomorrow I need to look at the taking the wall down. You know, you can see that is empty. Now, the reason I put the A's and the B's in is because I wanted to see daylight. If we come up here, there we have the store. You see? So it's just this bit down here we need to take down. But tomorrow, you see, I can take that bookcase away, and I can begin to try and take apart the whatever's behind there. But as you can see, the gateway is slowly beginning to materialize up there. And yeah, really happy. Good progress today. There it is. There is the new horror section. Nearly on display, but tomorrow we should be able to find out a little bit more. The store's going to look like a tip for the next week or so, but that's just the way it goes. Once it's sorted, it will be better than ever. Tuesday morning, and the new horror section is joined by a new section. Now it's come from here, you see. So there is our issue. There is the problem. That is the gateway to the new horror section, and that is my job for today. I'm going to try and dismantle as much of that as I can. I don't know how much I'll be able to pull apart without damaging the current horror section, because what I don't want to happen is for Snips to be without a horror section for a week, because it is a major traffic point and I could do with it staying there. So we'll see what we can do. Like I say, I don't know how robust my dad has built this, but, you know, given his previous form, I would consider that to be pretty hardcore. But we'll see. I'll plug away. It's only early, and we'll give it a few hours and see how far I get. Well, that was a non-starter. I'm not shifting that wall without a really big sledgehammer. For some reason, over the years, the screws have just locked into place, and there's no way it's going to come apart without something heavy. Can't really do that while the store's open, so I'm having to bypass that job. And instead, I've decided to empty the horror section today, the old one. No way around it. So the store will have to do without any horror films for a good few days. But, you know, I'm sure people will understand, and I can always nip in the back and get them for them. So I'll put the horror films in the back. I'm not going to show you just yet. And for some reason, despite my very analytical calculations, I'm 138 boxes short. So I'm 138 titles short, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to put out all my sequels. Because for years and years and years, probably 20 years, whenever a film has come along to save space, like when, I don't know, when Ring 2 came out, I put Ring 2 in a plastic sleeve and the box with Ring 1. You know, when stuff like, Piranha Double D came out, I took it in a plastic sleeve and put it in the original. And again, so all the sequels have always traditionally, you know, with the Pulse films as well, Purge as well, Purge is just there. I've always put the sleeve away in a file and then put the sequel in a plastic sleeve in with the original. Save space, because we're so short of space in the horror section. Now we've got the space, it's time to reverse that policy. So I'm going through about 2,000 sleeves, which is really good fun. This is S, and these are just sleeves that have either been faulty, they've been non-returns, or they're sequels. And yeah, just a variety of reasons. So I'm going through all of these sleeves in the next, well, it's 4:30 now, so it's late me till 7 o'clock. Going through all these sleeves now to pick out all the horror sequels that I put away and haven't got out on the shop floor. So I find that really exciting, to be honest. I mean, these horror sequels are big films, and the fact that they've been hidden away, you know, people come in aren't going to presume, oh, well, he must have, I don't know, Pumpkinhead 4. It's not out, but it must be in the same box as Pumpkinhead 1. They're not going to think that. So to really get these boxes out on the shop floor, see No Evil 2, great, will be great. So, you know, I have all these films, but like I say, they're just all divvied up in plastic sleeves and inserted into the case of the original. So some of these films, I mean, they've got 4 sequels inside one box, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But now I've got the space, it just makes way more sense. Good morning. Wednesday morning. And the old horror section is gradually coming away. Yeah, I still have attack. Get this shelving unit out the way. Cut it down to size, because that will go on the left-hand side. And then gradually break down the wall behind. What could go wrong? And the physical media god said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Hey, we're through. Not bad. Bit of tidying up to do. But it was relatively easy, save for a few pesky screws. But yeah, there we go. We have our entrance all sorted, and it's only 10:30. So now, thankfully, I get a lot of time to really pay some attention to detail and get that fixture that was the horror section cut and stick that on the left-hand side. I've got another fixture ready to go on the right-hand side to make a corridor. And yeah, we're good to go. We're cooking on gas. This is the first time I've sat in here. It's nice. I like it. Oh, what a week. What a month. It was intense. But here we are. Finished product. Wow. I can't believe it's done. I can't believe it looks precisely how I wanted it. I just absolutely over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. Really, really good. Everything fits. Everything looks great. Everything just pops out at you. The lighting really suits the room. It's not too penetrative, but you can see everything you need to. And yeah, feedback so far today, first day open, has been good because, yes, open today has been Thursday. I didn't record the show last night because it was just a mad 12-hour day. I've got aches on muscles that I never knew existed. The work-shy fool that I am. And yeah, so day open today, and first day of the horror section being open today, and it's been great. It's been really, really good to see people coming in just to check out this new space. And yeah, really happy. Lots of work to do behind the camera in order to get stuff moving into the right places, but so far so good. What do you think? Tell me what you think. You've had to endure a lengthy 18-minute renovation diary this week, but you can see why. And let me know what you think of this room. I did say at the start of the renovation diary that this will be a 2-week process, but just everything seemed to fall into place. On Monday and Tuesday, I thought, yeah, let's just get it done. Let's just get it done. So I got in yesterday at 9:30 and just worked right through till 8:30, and did a few bits today. Needed doing a few little tweaks, but we'll spin the camera around shortly, and we'll have a little look before we finish this video. So it's a really condensed inside the video store this week. One, because I would like to spend some time at home this week. Two, because you had a long making of video, restoration video. And three, just because, well, we'll keep it tight. We'll get back. So there's no on loan this week, unfortunately, but we'll focus on that next week. And there's also no comment section. But thank you for commenting on last week's video. Last week's video did silly numbers. I don't know why. I think it was the first video I've had to do 500 views in the first 48 hours, which was nuts. I don't know what made that happen. Also, let me know if you want the show done in this room from now on. Do you want it back to the desk, or shall we alternate, or shall we do it in here? But yeah, just let me know what you think. But yeah, it's been a great week. It's been a great month. I'm so happy that this is all done, and we can finally stop talking about it. Okay, let's have a look. There's some great stuff in this week. It's a mega week, which, to be honest, is another reason why I didn't want to, go too intricate with the show. I thought, let's just keep it to 2 sections. So we've got a new release section, and we've got a what's in the box. Coffee. And there's some good stuff. Okay, let's have a look at the contemporary new releases this week. What do we got? Well, the big one is Novocaine. That's Novocaine. I don't know much about it other than it stars Jack Quaid, where he apparently he was born with a rare genetic disorder, which means that he can't feel any pain. It sounds fantastic. I do like Jack Quaid. But yeah, big film of the week. So I got 2 Blues and a DVD of that. I think it will do pretty well. Although I must admit, I've only opened these films about 10 minutes before the camera started rolling. Crazy. I've literally had £400 worth of film sat on the floor behind the counter for 3 days because I was busy doing other stuff. But yeah, it's a great week. Next up, another Blu-ray. Oh, that's in the wrong pile. It's Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen is in the latest release from Signature. It's called The Prosecutor. The Prosecutor with Donnie Yen. This apparently tries to blend martial arts with courtroom action. So who knows how that will go down. But by and large, the word on the street seems to be fairly positive. And we do like a bit of Donnie Yen, especially when we pronounce his name correctly. Next up is the new film from Walter Salles. Walter Salles, you may remember from The Motorcycle Diaries. Great film that was. This is his latest. It's called I'm Still Here. It stars Fernanda Torres in what's considered to be an impeccable performance. It was the winner of the Best International Film at the 2025 Academy Awards, and it's set in 1971 in Brazil. Next up, we have Sebastian. Sebastian, this is our latest arrival for the queer cinema section. This is released by Peccadillo. It's about a 24-year-old gentleman called Max, who divides his life between a day job at a literary magazine and his evening persona, Sebastian, an escort whose experiences provide inspiration for his writing. However, the lines between reality and fiction become increasingly blurred. And again, there's been good positive feedback on that, so that should be a great addition to the store. Finally, in the contemporary releases, we have Shark Warning. Yes, Shark Warning. It is the latest shark-themed film from the Asylum, and they just keep coming. Cover quote says, "Fantastic, a true homage to Jaws." I'm not sure that will be the case, but still, we shall see. Right, look at boutique. It's a boutique week. It is the boutique week of the month. It is the third week of the month, which is traditionally boutique week, and we have a stack of stuff that's just oozing with class. What do we got? The latest entry to 88's Japaniki collection is Gate of Flesh. This looks like a more straight down the line crime thriller from Japan, not like Evil Dead Trap or things like that, or Gaia's Guts trilogy. Because some of the films in this range are very, very left field, but this one seems like a genuinely good, compelling drama instead of anything too off the wall. From the BFI this week, one of my favorite films, 24/7 makes its Blu-ray debut. Shane Meadows' first feature. Just an incredible film. It's black and white. Bob Hoskins is in it. And it's just a beautifully written film that will make you laugh and make you cry. And it's absolutely fantastic. I actually went to the premiere of this when I was at university. And I can't believe it's 28 years old, which is outrageous. A couple in from Radiance this week. We have La Terra Trema, which is filmed by Visconti, which is set in the fishing village of Acitrezza in Sicily. It's a docudrama and considered one of the finest examples of Italian neorealist cinema. That's La Terra Trema, 1948. The second film this week from Radiance is The Tale of Oya's Ghost. This is from 1961. It's from crime film specialist Tai Kato, who brings the famous ghost story of Yotsuya to the screen as a gritty tale of murder and greed. That's new from Radiance this week. It's The Tale of Oya's Ghost. Hammer have been, I'm not going to say fleecing, Hammer have been charging a premium for many of their new restorations and putting out a lesser edition further down the line. I did get one or two of them in, namely Shatter, and also there's something else. I forget what it was. But I'm going to downscale on that and just pick up the standard editions. And the latest to come in is Four-Sided Triangle. Because Hammer film from, when was that? 53. Yeah, it's the latest restoration in the Hammer line. That's in on Blu-ray. New from Indicator this week. I think Carnal Knowledge was due out this week, but I think it's gone back a few days till next week, so that'll be in next week. So instead, just the only release from Indicator is A Day at the Beach, which has a screenplay by Roman Polanski and features such brilliant talent as Jack McGarren. Brilliant. He was great in The Exorcist, wasn't he? More from 88 here. We have A Witch from Nepal with Chow Yun-fat. Witch from Nepal has it all. A romance, violence, adventure, and zombies. I mean, what else could you want? What else could you want? That is Witch from Nepal, out this week on Blu-ray from 88 Films, and also from 88 Films. Now, this does look interesting. I've had a copy on DVD, I think on the Cine Asia label, of Heroes Shed No Tears for a long time, 20 years, because it's a pivotal John Woo film. But of course, it was recut. It was recut by the studio, and Heroes Shed No Tears is the recut. Now, this was the original cut. This is the original cut. It's Sunset Warriors. from John Woo, and it's out this week, courtesy of 88 Films. This one's from 1986. For our good friends at Treasured Films, who put on the Weird Worcester Festival the other week, convention rather. And this is John McTiernan's Nomads. John McTiernan, great director. Nomads is probably considered one of his lesser films. It's an early role for Pierce Brosnan. Not only do you get Pierce Brosnan, but you also get Leslie Ann Down and Adamant. I mean, come on. What more would you want? And Mary Woronov. Well, there's about 86, 87, is it? Something like that. It's not a fantastic film, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And they got a new 2K scan on that. There was a Blu-ray out many, many years ago from Scream Factory, but good to see that getting an upgrade. Let me pause for lubrication. Eureka this week. Obviously, they've been releasing some of the DEFA films from Eastern Germany of late, mainly in box sets. As you can see, they're just around the corner. 2 box set sections now. So you got this box set here, which is horror exclusively, and there's a box set section just to the right of the camera, which is non-horror box sets. Anyway, show you in a sec. Heart of Stone. Heart of Stone is one of these single releases from the DEFA catalogue. A film by Paul Verhoeven. He rings a bell. And yeah, this is considered quite something. A whimsical, weird, and darkly macabre folk tale. Intriguing. That is Heart of Stone. It's out this week from Eureka as part of the Masters of Cinema collection. We have 2 from Arrow Video. First up is The Invisible Swordsman. There we go. Directed by Yoshiyuki Kuroda, who also did a couple of the Yokai Monster films and also Lone Wolf and Cub. Looks really interesting. You've got a historical setting, you've got immense costume design, brilliant fight choreography, and lush period details. Bit of everything in The Invisible Swordsman from Arrow Video. And this is one that you've all been waiting for. It's Dark City. Dark City finally gets a lavish Blu-ray edition, and it deserves it. 2 discs as well. Disc 1 is the director's cut, Alex Proyas's original version, and disc 2 is the theatrical cut. There's 11 minutes difference in those 2 cuts as well, so I'd imagine that to be quite, a little bit of a difference between the 2. And finally, Volume 1 only came in a few weeks back, but now here is Volume 2 of Chantal Akerman's career. Excuse me. This takes us from 1982 up until her last film before her sad death in 2015, which was No Home Movie. So yeah, more Chantal Akerman, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dozen films from the immense Belgian filmmaker, and this release is of course put out by BFI. But yeah, another great release there, Chantal Akerman. Right, I'm just going to get rid of these and then we'll crack on with what's in the box. Okie dokie. Time for some what's in the box. Now, this is a special one. This is a special one. Let me move my mug. This week, I got a letter. A handwritten letter. I do get the occasional handwritten letter, but this was special. I'm not going to read it all to you. Dave, a gift for your shop. I just wanted to drop you a line to say thank you for such a brilliant YouTube show. I've been an avid viewer since the early days, and I just wanted to say thanks for providing my wife and I with so many tips and ideas and hidden gems for our film watching. You have certainly opened our eyes to a wider DVD world out there. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? This letter is from Rod and Julie. Hello, Rod and Julie. Brilliant letter. Absolutely made my day when I received it. But not only is it just a letter, because Rod and Julie have taken a detailed approach to examining my online database for Snips, and they've curated a selection of 8 films that they feel would be a benefit to the store. And you know what? They're absolutely right. 8 films that really do deserve a place here. And they put so much work into it. And obviously, because they watch the show regularly, they know my taste. They know what kind of films I look for. And yeah, absolutely brilliant work, Rod and Julie. This was an excellent surprise. And I'm thrilled to get these films in. Should we have a look what Rod and Julie sent? I mean, this is an impeccable film. I don't know why I don't have it. I'm annoyed I don't have it, but I do have it now, and that's amazing. It's Daisies, the famous Czech film from 1966. I mean, it's considered to be one of the most stylish and psychedelic eruptions of the 1960s. Brilliant. So pleased to have this. It'll take pride of place in my Czech cinema section, which is soon to be expanding, as is world cinema. Next one, again, something that's right up my street. No idea why I didn't have it. But yeah, it's John Maybury's Love is the Devil, a portrait of Francis Bacon. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. That's fantastic. Daniel Craig's in this from 1998, and Derek Jacobi as well. Amazing. Brilliant. Next up, I mean, what can you say? What can you say about this? It's Our Miss Fred with Danny LaRue. I think this is my first Danny LaRue film in Snips. It's from 1972. And it features a steady stream of hilarious double entendres. Yeah. Recalls classic Hollywood comedies like Some Like It Hot. But yeah, that's the perfect film for the store. Perfect film. Again, another one. I thought I would have had this, but I don't. It's Party Monster with Macaulay Culkin, Seth Green, and Marilyn Manson. But brilliant, absolutely brilliant pick. I'll stick that in my indie section. And this one is special. I've been asked so many times over the years for California Suite, and for some reason it's only been available in an out of print region locked American DVD. I think Rob, did you rent this film, Rob? I think you wanted to rent it. I know Lee wanted to rent it as well. A number of people. But Rod and Julie have tracked down an Italian copy of the film, which plays in English, and it's an Italian release. And here it is. Brilliant. Neil Simon's California Suite, directed by Herbert Ross. Alan Alda, Michael Caine, Bill Cosby, Jane Fonda, Walter Matthau, Elaine May, Richard Pryor, Maggie Smith. Unreal. And this one, again, another film I swore I would have had, but it's Peter Bogdanovich, The Thing Called Love. Brilliant, brilliant selection. There we go. Superb. Finally, or almost finally, we have the Creation record story. I did get a Creation drama, wasn't it? It wasn't a documentary. I forget what it was called, but it's just called Creation, possibly. But this is the bona fide documentary. It's from Revolver. Revolver, of course, a long departed label. So, yeah, very pleased to have that. And then finally, Sam Shepard film. We all love Sam Shepard. What an icon. And this is a film he wrote and directed. Of course, he was a famous playwright as well. And it is Silent Tongue. Silent Tongue. I think we actually had this on VHS back in the day when we first opened. But it's great to have it back in on DVD. So, Rod and Julie, you are legends. Thank you very much indeed. A brilliant selection. Okay, let's finish off what's in the box with some more new arrivals. I'm going to keep that letter. Just going to whip through these. The highlight of which, arguably, the box set release of the year. Arguably the box set release of the year. It just landed from Severin today. And it's about, it contains the entire career of a guy that you probably haven't heard of. And I don't mean that as a slight on you. You people know more about films than me. But this guy has kind of been on my radar since I saw Mark Morris and Jake West's Video Nasties documentary. probably 15 years ago. It's a guy that I referred to a couple of times in it, but his films have never been available in any broad capacity. It's a fellow by the name of Cliff Twelmlow. Cliff Twelmlow. And he lived just down the road in Manchester, about 45 minutes away. And he carved a career as a filmmaker, but nobody really saw his films. Anyway, Jake West has tracked down everything, and Severin have put it in a magnificent box set called Bloody Legend, the complete Cliff Twelmlow collection. Everything is in here. I mean, it's 11 feature films on 9 Blu-rays, and it includes Jake West's award-winning documentary, Mancunian Man. And you get a bonus CD too. It's a mega box set. Although what's sad about this box set, it will never come out in this country. Why will it never come out in this country? Because it's too expensive. 11 feature films would all need to be classified by the BBFC. That would cost an absolute fortune, probably about 10 grand for Severin. And Severin's CEO, who is British, David Gregory, said that unfortunately, because the BBFC stipulate that every bit of physical media needs to have a certification, he can't justify putting it out. However, they can stick it on Amazon Prime with no certification, because on streaming you can bypass the BBFC. It's a rigged system. And it's penalizing physical media. Unfair, grim, amazing box set. Wow. Okay, that's Cliff Twelmlow. Whip through these. Custom wraps for this: Tom Stoppard, Rosenkrantz, and Guildenstern are dead. Great pick. Great suggestion. Pleased to have it in. A customer came in for this. Kurosawa is one of my most rented directors. So I didn't have dreams. I do have dreams, but not these dreams. So I picked this up over the weekend. 4K and Blu-ray dual edition. So Kurosawa's Dreams is now in stock. One of my most rented films of the year is Perfect Days. Rightly so. The Wim Wenders film. I only had one DVD of it, which is just outrageous. And it's still renting like clockwork. So I thought, well, hang on. Stop a minute. Let's get that in on Blu-ray as well. One for Fallon. Young Fallon was in at the weekend asking if I could get hold of the Richard Dreyfuss film, Let It Ride. I hadn't heard of it. But I did pick it up because it's on this immense imprint. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I've just seen who the audio commentary is by. I'll cut that bit. Lost my train of thought. It's on this immense Blu-ray from Imprint. Yeah, I'm familiar with this. 1989 it was. Richard Dreyfuss, Let It Ride. A few more to go through. We have Turkish Rambo. Anyone? Bueller? Turkish Rambo is in on DVD, the one you've been waiting for, from 1986. Now, we have 3 titles in from a French label that we haven't bought from before. It's Le Chat qui fume. That's a bad pronunciation. Le Chat qui fume. Smoking Cat. And these were 3 releases from Scream Factory. And thankfully, this French company took out the license. They released them in lovely Scanavo boxes. No extras, but they play in English and they're UK-friendly discs. So that's all that matters. We have The Video Dead, which is one of the most requested films in this store, The Video Dead. We have special effects from the ace Larry Cohen. I mean, you know, we need Larry Cohen films on physical media, so not to have this in the store was tragic. And also, finally, Breeders, the Tim Kincaid film. Terrible film, but it's part of the Empire Pictures legacy with Charlie Band, so it's a must-have. Tim Kincaid, Breeders. Tim Kincaid, funny fact fans, his AKA is Joe Gage. He's a gay porn director, but he made 3 films for Charlie Band in the 1980s. Breeders, Robot Holocaust, and the third one, whose name I forget. It's a terrible film. It's probably best I forget. Oh, it was Necropolis, I think, wasn't it? But he produced a lot of films as well. He produced Enemy Territory, for example, but Peter Manoogian was telling me that he pretty much kept out the way on that one. Finally, in this week's What's in the Box, we'll have 3 from Severin that arrived today, courtesy of strangevice.co.uk. It's Unknown World is in, which is superb. An old sci-fi from, when's this, about 1958, was it? Allegedly written by Dalton Trumbo, who was blacklisted at the time. That's Unknown World. We have Circle of Iron from Blue Underground. Sorry, not all Severin. Circle of Iron from Blue Underground, which I've never had in before on any format, so that's pretty cool. The David Carradine film. And finally, from Severin, I have Jack the Ripper. Now, this is 1958, I think, isn't it? Yeah. And this is a dual format on both 4K UHD and Blu-ray. Jack the Ripper from 1958. It's written by Jimmy Sangster, the iconic Hammer scribe. And yeah, that's a great edition from Severin of Jack the Ripper. Right, we're done for today. Sorry the main show was a little bit shortened, but I had a lot to show you, and I don't want to be going on too long. I don't like shows over an hour. So before I go, let's just take a quick trip around, and well, yeah, we can see where everything is. Let's have a look. So let's have a look through here one more time. As you can see, I've made up I could fit all of these films in, and I think the 11 shelf thing really does pay off. Everything in strict alpha. I love these little alphabetized things here. I think they really do add to the place. I had no, I'll say choice, but I have kept to a strict alpha order. So, for example, the face-on titles that you see aren't necessarily titles I would pick, but they're just titles that have fallen there due to the nature of keeping everything alphabetical. But yeah, really good, really pleased. Plenty of room there as well. Plenty of room there. Plenty of room here also in the horror box set section. A little bit of paraphernalia as well on top, like there's Jason's mask. That's a lovely note I got from Adam Marcus a few years back. Planning this as well. This is Mrs. Grinnell, who's a regular viewer, mentioned that she'd quite like to have recommendations from customers in a book. And I didn't like the idea of a book. I found it very staid. So I thought, well, let's take that idea. There's a nucleus of a great idea there, and let's have a series of customer picks. So whenever a customer comes in, anyone can do this. Just grab a film out, stick it in one of these plastic display holders, and then you can help other customers out by kind of paying it forward and enabling other customers to choose some great horror films that you think are pretty cool. So there's room for 3 customer picks there. So it'd be great if we can get a nice rotation on that and get everyone recommending some great horror films to each other. But yeah, there's the box sets. We need some room because we need to fit Mancunian Man in there. And also, we need space for Shoestring Slashers, which is coming in next week from TerraVision. Here, of course, we got Trauma heading up the top shelf, Shameless on the shelf below, then 4 shelves with the 88 Films Italian collection, Slasher Classics collection, Temper Video, and also Hammer taking up the bottom 2 shelves there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now out here is a bit of a mess at the moment. Left-hand side is contemporary box sets, non-horror. So, we got all the noir box sets from Indicator. A couple of imprint box sets. The Chantal Ackerman Space is there. Space for World Noir 3, which is out next week, I think. And then the rest. But at least it means people can fidget and touch and, grab hold of these box sets and feel them. Now, this is my new fixture that used to be the horror fixture, but I've since adapted Fits in nicely there. This will mean that World Cinema can expand through another fixture. And also, I want to reduce the height. It's no good having that height in World Cinema in such a tight space. So I'm going to shorten that by probably 2 shelves, move them all here, spread them along, and then World Cinema can have more room to breathe. And that's about it, really. There's a few little bits around the store that I'm going to change and adapt. And where the box sets used to be, I've stuck them all my VHS. Anyone can creep around the counter and have a look at those. There's a selection there, and if you want to take one home, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, that is it. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. It's been a wild month. And yeah, keep commenting. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, good and bad. And yeah, I'll be off. I'm going to go to prepare for a commentary, which I'm doing on Sunday, that I've done absolutely no preparation for whatsoever. Left Matthew Budrevich to tackle all the hard work, but he's good at that. He's a good lad. And yeah, I will see you in 7 days' time.